Welcome to another episode of Conversations with Cookie B. As you know, I'm Cookie B. And what we're doing is getting ready to have an interesting and exciting conversation. Now, you know it's 4:59, and usually I come on a little early just to give you time to get situated, get your drink before we start this conversation. Now, let me push this button right here because I know that, let me refresh it. It should say that I'm live. There we go. So I can read your comments from over here. But I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I hope you had a marvelous Monday. So here we are on this tantalizing Tuesday to get started. So I know that, like I said, it's 4:59. Got a lot to talk about. A lot of stuff happened over the weekend. And it is now 5 o'clock. So you know what we do at 5 o'clock.
Conversations with Cookie B. We can talk about anything. Conversations with Cookie B. We'll talk about everything. Everything, my baby. Ooh, yeah, everything.
Hey there! Welcome to another episode of Conversations with Cookie B. I'm so excited to talk to y'all. I missed y'all. I missed y'all so much. I was collecting so much data over the weekend. Let's get this party started. So as you know, I like to start off with something positive. And I got my cards ready. So we can make it through the rest of the week. Let's say that. Make it through the rest of the week. Now, I know today it was 99 degrees in Las Vegas. Wind blowing. I told you guys before, it is monsoon season. So we may get thunderstorms and stuff like that out of the blue for no reason. All right. So let's go ahead and pull a card. What am I going to pull? This one popped out at me. This orange one right here. Compassion. Be gentle with yourself. You are a magnificent soul. Today's card, sorry about that, you guys. Today's card, compassion. Be gentle with yourself. You are a magnificent soul. All right. Okay, it's 5 o'clock. Let's get this conversation started. As you know, I was out of town this weekend. The statement shirt today is, hey there, Godiva. Women with silver lining. I got this shirt from one of my good girlfriends at my cigar lounge that I frequent. Her name is Christina, and she made us some shirts because all of us have gray hair. Hey there, Nana. All of us have gray hair, and sometimes the symbol is a silver lining. Women with a silver lining. Also, you guys, let me tell you. Got to get you started now. I was in Arizona over the weekend from Thursday night because we had no show on Thursday because I was driving to Arizona. It took us about 4.5 hours, between 4 and 4.5 hours to get there. Had a wonderful time, and I'll talk to you about that later. But I bring that up because I was able to frequent two. Hey, Ty. I was able to frequent two of my favorite restaurants. And I went with Ty, who used to play for the Sparks. She was a member of the WNBA, made some wonderful connections. But let me start with what I was about to say.
Hey, beautiful.
Never mind. Let me start what I was about to say. So today's Black History, July 21st. Now, this holds some significance because in 1864, the New Orleans Tribune was launched as America's first Black daily newspaper. Today in Black history. Also in 1940, more than 160 civil rights activists were jailed during the Albany movement in Georgia, which became the foundational campaign for the broader civil rights movement. Also, in 2001, legendary blues musician John Lee Hooker passed away, leaving behind an unmatched musical legacy as he pioneered electric blues. Also, today's Black celebrity birthdays. Kim Whitley, born today in 1961. Also, Mari Morrow was born in 1968. Rebecca Ferguson, 1986. Jasmine Cephas Jones, born in 1989. Damian Marley, born in 1978. DeAndre Jordan, I think he's a basketball player, born in 1988. King Roscoe, born in 2003. CC Sabathia, I think he plays baseball, born in 1980. Kevin Burgess, born in 1988. Byron Ford, 1996, as well as Godfrey Donchimia. I think he's a comedian. He was born on this day in 1969. That's today's Black history as well as the birthdays. Now, I bring this up because went to Arizona this weekend and I was able to frequent two of my favorite restaurants. When I tell you they have some good food, they have some good food. So I was able to go to Houston's. And when I went to Houston's, I went with the assistant coach of the Connecticut Suns of the WNBA, who was a good friend of Ty, who we went out there with. I had, the Houston Hawaiian. I don't even know what to say. As well as, hey, Sebastian, see the Houston Hawaiian, as well as that spinach and artichoke dip. If you know, you know. Houston's has not missed a beat. Let's get it in. Hey, Will. Houston's, hey, Piggy Boop. Houston's has not missed a beat when it comes to their food. Also, on the way out, I was also able to attend some games. The energy, these women, the WNBA gets the short end of the stick. I don't know why, but because these young ladies can ball. And I've been having the pleasure of going to some of the Aces games and having a good time. Hey, Cynthia, welcome to Conversations with Cookie B. I'm able to go to some of the games. It just to be there is exciting. But also went out to Fox's, which is a cigar lounge out there in Arizona. Had a nice time. Also got to see Needs More Dunks. You know what? Some of them they do, but one I can't even call. See, if I wasn't talking about it, I'm thinking of some of the names of the players that Ty was telling me. These women can ball. They really can. And they get the short end of the stick. But also, as I was out there, I was able to visit Cooper's Hawk. If you know, you know. Cooper's Hawk is a restaurant, and also they make their own wines. So today, and I know I said I'm going to be going to my class reunion in a couple of weeks, and I was going to come back and get on a little like a little strict little regimen to lose about 5 pounds, because when I got on the scale today, I was 206. So I still been maintaining, even though I was eating while I was out of town. But today's drink is going to be the Cooper's Hawk Passion Fruit. This is what we're drinking today. So I'm going to pour me something this while we get this conversation started. Now, as you know, and you know I got to bring it up. I would be remiss if I didn't bring it up. Our boy Calvin got married this weekend. And it is true. He did get married. He sent me pictures as well as the video of him and Mania's wedding. They wore emerald green. It was a beautiful ceremony. I'm sorry I wasn't able to be there, but there was some people in attendance, and we want to say congratulations to Calvin, our favorite follower, who is now happily married. Here's to you. Oh, that's good. That's real good. That's real good. Now, also, this past weekend, on our trip, yeah, congratulations to them. On our trip to Arizona, I had the pleasure of being in Conversations with Cookie B. I had some interesting conversations regarding relationships, regarding how long is too long. That's really one of my topics today. How long is too long? Because that was one of the statements that the young lady, Miss Ronisha, said to one of my girlfriends. She said, how long is too long. And I got questions too, Will. I got questions. But also we want to recognize that the passing of Nolan Wells, his funeral was yesterday. Please, you guys, be on the lookout. Care for your children. Care for your children. You know, it's bad out here. It is bad out here. It's congratulations to them. Correct. Also, Spain won the World Cup. I was so very excited, but that fat motherfucker had to get his ass on stage to try to steal the shine from people. And it just irritated me, especially when I saw it. And then the man had to go on stage to drag him off. Yeah, to drag him off. I don't know what's going on. It says it's going in and out, so I don't know what's going on. I apologize, you guys, because I can still see you guys, but I'm not having this screen. I do know that over here is a bit windy. The wind has picked up here on this side of town. I apologize for the inconvenience, but I'm not having anything. So if you guys can, go out and come back in. I'm still live. Hey, D-Lo, welcome to Conversations with Cookie B. So on this episode of Conversations with Cookie B, I would like to know, how long is too long? Now, I know I've asked this question before, but one of my good girlfriends, she asked this question to one of the girls that we was hanging with. And we wondering how long is too long. Now, I also had the pleasure. I went out and came back, and it's okay now. Oh, okay. I had the pleasure of also seeing one of my good friends while I was there. I was so very happy to see him. And yes, he is 6'4". We hadn't seen each other in, I think we said like 4 or 4.5 years. So it was a pleasure to see him, reconnect, laugh, joke, yada, yada, yada. So let's talk about it. How long is too long? How long is too long? Now, I do have a good girlfriend who shares some information with me that she's been in and out of a relationship with a special person for about, let's say 15 years. The question was asked, what are you guys doing? They are moving towards getting together. It is a long distance relationship, but they are working towards getting together to become in one household. I know that in asking questions this past weekend of different people that I was talking to, the number that came up was 5. After 5 years, you should either shit or get off the pot, is what I've been told, what I experienced this past weekend. Now, also, I can tell you that sometimes it does take a little longer for men and others, as well as women. Sometimes there are some factors that you can't quite put your hand on, but then you're wondering, I really don't want to lose this person. I really don't want to not be with this person. But then too, what are we doing? How long is too long? Now, I know that I have shared with you this, after the show, y'all go watch The Ultimatum so we can talk on Thursday. Correct. That is really good. There's a show, Kanal was going to get to that, but you're jumping ahead. There's a show, and that was part of me leading up to it too. When it comes to relationships, Kanai had me watching this show called The Ultimatum. Marry me, marry, or move on. So, in this show, and it is on, I think, Kanai, you said it's on, that's all right, baby. It's on Netflix. It's on Netflix. I had it on my notes right here to tie it in because she had me watching this show. No, I'm not wasting anybody's time. No, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Now on this show, The Ultimatum, it's marry or move on. Now they have couples that they get together. They come on the show and they spend, I want to say 3 weeks with someone else's fiance. Well, maybe I don't think they really engaged. So I don't think they're engaged yet, but they're couples who the show is going to give you the ring to propose to that person after the show is over. So you either going quote unquote shit or get off the pot. So in watching this show, my daughter had me watching it. I think we watched it Thursday. No, was it Thursday? Wednesday night, Thursday. These couples I want to say, irritated the hell out of me because it was so disheartening to know that, and a lot of them were like 30 something, 20s, maybe I'm going to say between 24 and let's say 31 at the most. But these couples were trying to, I guess, work out their differences. And in trying to work out their differences, one person in the couple issued an ultimatum and the other is hesitant to. Okay, Kanai, she watches these reality shows. I'm not a reality show person. But in watching this show, there were the couples. One couple, they couldn't even get on there. They weren't on there. Oh, here go Will. One couple, they wasn't even on there in the show that good. And they had. So when offering these, you're supposed to spend time with that person after 3 weeks, where you spend time with the other person first. Then, with somebody in the room or some other person that you could possibly match with. Or after that, you spend 3 weeks with that person. Then after that, you come back together with your person, because I guess that's to let you know what you could be missing or something like that. So in watching this show, the season finale happened. No, the season finale is tonight. I thought the 21st, 22nd or something like that. So we'll find out if the couples stay together. But how long is too long? Now, Will, of course, season finale comes on tomorrow. For those who don't like to wait, can watch the season all the way through. Thank you, Kanai. I want to know, how long is too long? So now we got Will. Hey, Will, what's going on?
What's going on? How long is too long? I'll tell you how long is too long. Ain't no such thing as too long.
Ain't no such thing as too long.
It's when she get fed up.
Okay, so I can say from experience, after proposing, I think we should be married within 2 years, at the most.
Okay. Did they talk about it?
Did who talk about it?
When he said, because I'm hoping he said it, because sometimes she said, but hopefully he said it. Then why don't we say, okay, let's start planning? Because again, think about it from this perspective. Most guys don't plan weddings.
No, they don't.
So if you let somebody propose to you and you don't start pushing dates and you don't start pushing times and you don't start having expectations, then all he did was stop you from pursuing somebody else.
I totally agree. Now, in my experience, I can tell you that I was proposed to like on May 17th, I want to say, or the 18th, because my birthday was coming up. He said, let's get married. But then we were long distance, meaning he was in Chicago, I was here. And in trying to do that planning, I would say, hey, we're going to do an all-white wedding. All the guests wear white. We were going to wear black. So he and I would have on black. We got to that point. No, I'm sorry, I hadn't moved yet. We went to as you remember, the Chateau Boucher. My mom was so happy. She put down on Cicero. She put down a deposit for the Chateau Boucher, which was where we were going to get married. But then it got to a point where I would say, okay, so let's talk about the guest list. Let's talk about, what about Patrick? Who was Patrick? Shut up! My daughter is messy. Woo, she messy. I don't even know how she got that name, but we'll talk about that in a minute. As we was planning, I'm like, okay, let's get the guest list together. Let's do this. And he never kind of, okay, well, it's my uncle, because his mother and father were deceased. So it's like, okay, your brother, their significant other, but it never would, keep going. So it got to be like 2 months, and then I just said, you know what? What we doing? And it was like, no, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. I'm sitting there, because now, I got I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry, it was here, because I had moved here. He proposed in the backyard, because I was saying, oh my gosh, I want to go to see Method Man, because they was coming out here, and I was just, I love me some Method Man. And he said, I'm up here you up here talking about another man, and I'm up here trying to marry you, and that's when he proposed. I remember that conversation. So I was here. But when we started making the plans, I'm like, okay, I can come home, we can get married, blah, 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 blah. I don't know if it was the distance. I don't know if it's because I wasn't going to tell him to leave his job. If that meant I'd have had to move back to Chicago, so be it. But in my mind, he wasn't moving forward with it. And as he wasn't moving forward, and I kept saying, I said, you know what? You was a great boyfriend. And we had been together, I want to say, since Kanai was 3. But I said, you was a fucked up fiance.
Okay,
we're not doing this. And I said, we can still be together, but we're not getting married. We're not getting married, because I'm not going to do this. Go ahead, Will.
At any point in time, did you say, I want to get married in June?
Yes, we were going to get married in August.
Okay, so you set a date.
Yes, we had, because I had always said most of my friends were married. Most of my friends, including my parents, that have long relationships or been married for a long time, most of them got married in August, and I wanted to get married in August.
Okay, so when August came, what happened?
Oh, no, we didn't even get to that, because I called it off before we even got to that, because there was no planning done. I kept saying, what we're going to do, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. I just said, you know what, since we're not moving towards that, it's done. We can still.
So, okay, and you know me, I call it like I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Most men don't do the planning.
I was doing a lot of planning. Now, like Kanai said, you got an ice cream Dunionberg purse on that same day. Yes, because he was in the back. Kanai, remember, we was in the backyard, and he gave me, I still got the ice cream Dunionberg purse. And he gave me the purse with the watch that matched and the ring. Kanai said, I was there too, y'all. Oh, hey, Tammy said, I said it was the distance. He had a good job and didn't want to start a career all over again. Now, Tammy's one of my good girlfriends. She knows. But I never requested that. In my mind, this is me as a man. If he was going to lead, he should have said, baby, you know how much I'm making. Kanai is holding up the purse in the background.
The ring was in
the ring was in the purse. It sure was. I still got the purse. Ain't that girl? That's over 27 years ago. Yeah, it's hers now. It's her purse now. But I told him, you could have easily said, well, even though you've moved out here and you've been out here for 3-4 years, babe, you're going to have to move back on to Chicago, because like my girlfriend Tammy said, I used to call him a 6-figure nigga. He worked for AT&T. He made 6 figures easily. You could have said, baby, you got to come on back.
So why don't you get back?
He didn't say that.
That's my point. This is my point. And I'm going to reiterate this 1,000 times. There was no communication. You had different expectations to what he had expectations.
I agree.
And so when the communication literally didn't go the way you wanted it to go, you called it off.
Yeah, I did.
There was no expectation. Because you got
but if we are in a relationship, you should be able to say, well, look here, babe, you're going to have to come on back. You're going to have to do such and such. Or, because we were getting married in Chicago, it would have been like, okay, yes, but he knew you really wanted to be in Vegas. He did know that. He knew that my spirit had moved on, that I said that I had heard, you're not going to raise your daughter in Chicago. Y'all know my spiritual journey that I was on. He had heard, I told him, I said, I'm leaving. But I would have easily, through God, I would have went back. If that was what's to be. But then in my thing too, where we gonna live?
Right.
Because
but all that being said, and it comes to the point where, and again, this is not me coming at you. This is coming at the ideology of it, right? But when
Mm-hmm.
you have two strong-willed people and you're looking for the other person to take charge because you guys aren't rooted in the same truth,
Mm-hmm.
that's where it goes downhill. So yes, if he would have came to you and said, "Hey, Cookie, I need you to come on back, sweetie. We're gonna go to here. We're gonna live here. This is the plan. Let's develop the plan." Before you said "I do" or "I will," it should have been like, "Time out. This is contingent on let's get some things clear." Because you knew his job and what he was doing. He knew where your mind was and where your spirit was going, and y'all was on two different planes. Now,
I agree.
yes, if he would have lassoed you back in and said, "Come on back to this cold, negative 25-degree weather and yeah, and them taxes, like come on back," right? You said you might have did that. But the fact that it was so much unknown, your
Correct.
spirit told Julia, "We can't do this. This is too much," right?
And
But it
and I
didn't.
told
But it didn't
I
just happen overnight. It was a process to get to that point where you said, "I'm done." And I
yes.
promise you, during the process, there was no communication, or the
Now there was no wait. There was
it was
no
one-sided.
communication about that. Because
Right.
even though we were no longer engaged, we still were in a relationship. So he still would come out every 30 to 45 days. We still were the same. It's just that I no longer wore that ring. That was it. And I explained that to him. I said, since you're not taking the lead, we're not talking about it, but we talking about other stuff. I said, we can still be in a relationship. We just not getting married. And
And,
he
and
was
I
like,
believe,
okay.
I believe 100%. The minute that you took the ring off and you said you're gonna have a relationship, that's like when a couple says, "Oh, I need some space. We need to think about some things. Give me some time. Just give me some time off so I can think about some things." No, you didn't thought about some things already. You need that space because you're trying to create distance and you're trying to create absence. And once you create absence, you create disconnection. And so once you have disconnection, then you're done. So in that situation,
We
you
still
had
had access anyway, Will, because we were both in two different states. I still would go to Chicago every August.
what was the
I
connect?
still would go
What was
ahead.
the connector?
No, I'm saying we still were in it, like we still loved each other, I guess. Tammy says, yes, yes, exactly. He helped you move there. He wasn't coming back to Chicago. He knew that coming back to Chicago wasn't an option. Tammy, it could have been an option
No,
because
it couldn't.
I would have said,
No, it couldn't.
okay, I got to come back.
Then why didn't you say that to him? Hey,
I
babe,
did.
did you say, "Babe,
Oh,
do you need me
no,
to
no, no,
come back?"
no, no. Hold on. I am an excellent communicator. I said, where we going to live at? If I come back, because I've always said to him, and I will call him right now, I said, I would never ask you to leave your job to come here. So when I come back, where we going to live at?
And what did he say?
He couldn't. We could live in his grandfather's house. We couldn't do that.
Where was he living? Oh, he was living with his grandfather.
No, no, his grandfather was still alive, but he was living on 100 and something, but it was like a house in the back. That wasn't big enough for me, him and Kanai. So
So
I'm like, where we gonna live at?
you didn't give him time to
Yes,
go ahead to the suburbs and
I
figure it
sure
out.
did. I sure did.
How much time did you give him?
I gave him, let me see, September 9th, 2011 was the last time when I actually called it off. But I gave him plenty of time. He asked me to marry him 2010. I want to say 2010. So it was almost a year. I'm like, what we doing? What we doing? What we doing?
From the time
What
you
we
told
doing?
him that you would come back, how much time did you go from the time you came back that you said you would come back, but we need a place to stay, to the time you broke it off?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I left that in his car. I said, I can come back. Let me know where we're going to live. Tell me this, you have to have a plan because now I got to move all my stuff back. I can't just move it back to my parents' house because before I left Chicago, I was staying in their attic because I sold my house. I pulled out my 401k. So I'm like, okay, so now that I'm coming back, where we going to stay? Because I have to have somewhere to put all this stuff. I mean, I can put it in storage, but where we going to stay? He had no answer. He had no answer for that.
Okay.
And after that, I was just like, well, you know what? After you took me to the Sade concert in September, I think it was September 9th, 2011. That's when I said, I'm not going to do this no more. We're not going to do the long distance thing. And that was after we had been together since Kanai was 3. So that was about 12, 13 years. Tammy, correct me if I'm wrong, because you and Adrian I think y'all 5 years, no, y'all 3 years ahead of me and Elon, I think. But after that, I said, okay. But to me, we weren't, like you said, I agree, no communication. It was like, okay, what we doing? You still coming out here visiting, we back to acting like girlfriend and boyfriend. What we doing? So I said, if that's how we gonna act, I'm gonna just keep it like we just boyfriend and girlfriend. We ain't doing nothing else. Nana says, no, it was before that because we moved in the house in 2010. You're right, Kanai. You're right, Kanai. Because this house we moved in, thank you, baby. We moved in this house. I bought this house. He even flew out here to help me move into this house I'm in right now. Because he was like, you bought a house. I said, yeah, I bought me a house. So when did we get engaged, Kanai? Because we moved down here in 2005. I think he asked me to marry him in 2008. I really can't remember. I really can't. Nana says, we lived on Green Spruce when I was 5 through 8, then moved on Bermuda when I was 9. Girl, thank you, baby. That's where my brain cells went to my child. So she's right. We lived on Green Spruce in Silverado Ranch from 2005 to 2008. And he had, yeah. Yeah, Kanai, like, I got the receipts. You're right. Because the lady lost the house that I was living in when they did the mortgage thing in 2008. And then he helped me move out that house. Okay, he made me move out that house to this one because I bought this house in 2010. You ended it before we moved to the apartment because Patrick was at the apartment. That bitch, Betsy. Okay. So then after Elon, I met a man named Patrick.
Apparently.
Patrick met me, and we dated for what, 6 months at the most, and asked me to marry him. And I was like, wait, what? So in that thing, you know, there was the time, like, you're right, Kanai, you and them dates. You're right. So Patrick asked me to marry. I apologize. I've been engaged. No, I've been asked to be married 4 times. Because then Patrick asked me to marry him, and I was living at the apartment on Bermuda. And he was like, you know, he flipped houses. That's what he did. And I remember Tammy was like, no. Tammy said, my girlfriend Tammy said, you're not going to marry him. It is too soon. You don't know this man. I remember that. And then I was just like, well, yeah. I did not like Patrick.
So why was it too soon?
I don't know. Tammy just said it was too soon. Tammy said no. I remember even going to get wedding dresses. But let me tell you what happened with that. He was slick. Because he was like, so what we gonna do is one of the houses that he had, he was gonna quick deed it to me. We was gonna flip it and draw some money out. And I said, well, if it's in my name, ain't I paying for my own wedding? Like, things didn't start adding up. And I'm going, no, you trying to, you know, like, I had good credit then. I'm not that I ain't got bad credit now, but I'm saying we had some, it was 6 months. He had some stuff that just started, then I started paying attention to my spirit. And I'm like, he had a couple of properties, but the way he was presenting it to me, I don't know if he was trying to get out of a situation, but he was going to use me for it. It was something else. Hell to the no, he wasn't right. So I said, no, I'm not finna do this. But I really was at David's Bridal trying on weddings because I'm like, how this man meet me? We was cool. We was, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, this is like a whirlwind. I'm being swept off my feet. He's showing me the receipts. He got properties. But then I kept going, wait a minute, something not right. Something not right. So in the end, I was like, well, where the ring at? He was like, okay, so this is what we gonna do. So it's like the money you put, we're gonna switch this house to your name. The money you pull out the house, we're gonna go get the ring. I'm like, well, I'm paying for my own ring. You know, I started going, no, something's not adding up. So that one I said, gone. So we left that. And I remember she cussed him clean out and made him leave and never saw him again. I sure did. My child. I did. I cussed him out and I never saw him again.
Such language.
I did. I cussed him out and I never saw him again. I'm like, nah. No, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. And I don't know what it was that. And I remember my girl. I remember Tammy talking me off the ledge, like, "You sure, sis? Like, blah blah blah." And I'm like, he flying out. We doing this. We doing that. No, that was so. Yeah, it was. The Ty said it was 4 times for her, so that was 4 times. But that was within 6 months. I only bring that up because, how long is too long? Because could that have been too quick? And we talked about our bro Calvin. Calvin, then got married, and people got questions. But was that too soon? Because they've been dating not that long. I want to say 2-3 months, and then they got married. So how long is too long?
Such a beautiful.
Or can it be too quick? Now, Will, I know you're an expert when it comes to, when I say expert, I mean that like this, but you are. We listen to you because you're doing the couples therapy. When it comes to relationships, how long is too long? Can you be engaged for 10, 12 years? Is that reasonable?
It depends on the people. And I say that because honestly, it really depends on the people. I think, so I'm going to put a twist on this and think about what I'm saying. And I'm not trying to carry it too long, but think about this. It's going to depend on a few things. 90% of the time it's going to be on the female on the time side of it. Because like you just gave your example, you're going to get tired, right? And it's like, this is too much, right? But depending if you're the reacher or the settler will also determine how long is too long. Because if you are the reacher.
Before you continue, come on, once again, for those who don't know, define the reaching and the settling.
All right, so a reacher in a relationship is somebody that's reaching up. And when I say reaching up, so you looking at this girl, and you a hard 6, and she that hard 10. But you shoot your shot, and somehow she settles, and she goes, okay, I'm gonna give you a chance because I done been hurt by all these other dudes, so I'm gonna give you a shot. So she settles, you reach, and you got your dream girl. She has the safe guy. That's the reacher and the settler. Now it can be a reverse, right? It could be the female that she knows she a hot 4, and that guy's pulling 10s, and everybody look at him, right? He's Shamar Morris, and he doing this thing. And y'all turn around and it's the same thing. So the guy settles. That's not and he says stuff like, and if he says, well, that's not the normal type of woman that I date, but, and we put a caveat, she cute in the face, but she's really nice, but whatever that thing is. So, and in the situation with the marriage, it's the same thing, depending on who's the reacher and the settler. Right?
Okay.
Because if you're reaching, you're going to want to do it as fast as possible. Your heart going pitter-pat, flutter, all that other stuff. There's somebody, and I hate to say this, there's somebody in a relationship, because the minute you say fiance, you are giving up your options. Because that's the whole point of that period, is giving up your options. But we know it. In this day and age, and even back then, some people didn't give up all their options. It was that, well, before I really commit, let me make sure John over there really is not the one, right? Or let me make sure that Sally over there, she really, one more time, Sally, right? Before I just give it up for good, right? Because that's normally how it is. So really, 90% falls on the female, even in your situation. If you would have said, hey, you know what? We're doing this in August. And if he's giving pushback, or if he's not putting the plan, or if he's not doing whatever, you're the one that calls it off. Now, in certain situations, the man who is the reacher can be like, yep, we're going to do this in a couple of months. Matter of fact, let's fly down to Vegas, and I'm down. Right? Okay. We're going to go out there, and we're going to get it done. And she's like, okay, because she in love, and he in love. But again, most men that are in odd situations, that's the best way I can put it, they got to give up options to say, okay, this is the one.
Options. Now, I also brought this topic up because my girlfriend Ty, I know you listening, boo. I had the pleasure of watching and being in the space with her and her guy. Now, when I tell you they funny, they both they both complement each other. It's hilarious. He's real laid back. Hey Tracy. He's kind of laid back. She's the firecracker. Let me say that. She's the firecracker. It's just some instances, and I thank him. We were at STK, went to a restaurant I've never been before, but I've always wanted to go in Vegas. We went out there in Arizona, and he was very open with talking to me about, his relationship with Ty. And I was grateful for the information, but I also wanted her to listen to him because he loves her. I don't doubt that one dang on bit. He loves her. But with the distance, with the relationship, I'm going to say it's Ty who's resistant because he's ready. He would marry her next week if he could. But it's her because she is hesitant because she's like, I got a job that I love here in Vegas. She's giving up a lot of stuff to relocate to Arizona. Now,
I'm sorry, did you say she's settling? Is that what you said? Is that
No. I didn't say she was settling. She's giving up because he is very well established. He has said to her on occasion, you don't have to worry about work. I got you. He has gone back. Now, this man is in, when I say smart, he's retired from Intel. Like he up there. So he has a nice retirement. He has properties. He's advising her, it's okay. I got you. Yep. This is her. She is, well, I don't want to just return on your money. I want my own money. I want this. I want this. I want this. And I'm like, I understand that. But he proposed, if I'm getting back into real estate, you can manage the properties. That can be your money. Like if I go back, because her example was, if I go buy a birthday gift and I've got to get the money from him to buy his own gift. Totally understand. Don't get me wrong. And I'm not knocking her, but she was saying that she would, her friends, she would more or less be starting all over. But I'm like, you're starting all over with your husband, right, with him. And that comes with changes. So in this dynamic, when I say how long is too long,
sacrifice, that comes with sacrifice. You have to both parties have to sacrifice themselves in order to become one. That's
correct.
Literally in the Bible.
Correct. Now, there is a child involved because he has a daughter that is 12 or 13 years old. Even with the child being involved, I think it's handled more or less. She doesn't have any children. So he is the primary he has sole custody of the child, even though him and the baby mama, exchange and every other weekend and stuff like that. He's a great father. He does have other children. Also, I want to bring this up too because there is an age difference. He is 59. She is 40. She'll be 43 this year. So, with that being said, and her not having it, what?
That's not too bad.
It's not too bad. It's not too bad. But I think too, I don't know. I don't want to say his maturity or anything like that. And I'm not saying that she's immature. But when we were having this conversation at Houston's, one of her good girlfriends had to tell her, girl, y'all need to get it together. Y'all need to get it together. Yeah, he don't. Tracy's seen him. Tracy said he don't look 59. He'll be 59 in October. But the conversation that we were having, because her good girlfriend, they're getting married in October. And I asked her, I said, how long were y'all together? She said, we were together 5 years. And now we're getting married in November. So I'm like, congratulations, blah, blah, blah. But then we had, Ty, like, what y'all waiting on? What's the hesitant? And then every conversation I can say that we've had this topic, her thought process and her concern is, I got to go out there. I got to get a new job. I have to get a job because she loves the job. She says she just loves. I've never known nobody that love their job. She loves her job that she has here. in my opinion, she's giving up her independence. And I think that right, but you have to know that you're going to give that up in a sense when you marry. Now you can still be married and do your own thing to a certain extent, not being disrespectful, anything like that. But then also you want to cherish the time that you and him come together.
Yeah.
Yes.
So much
Change
like Tracy.
yes, Tracy, that's good. Change is fear. Go ahead.
Absolutely. And so that's the hard part. And a lot of couples, right, that stops them from getting together because you do got to give yourself up. In her situation, she is giving up a lot of independence.
Mm-hmm.
My question into the chat as well, does it sound like she's fearful of losing herself, or is she fearful of bonding with somebody else?
Now, that is a good question, and I know she's listening. But also, Tracy says counseling may help. Now, I'm glad you said that, Tracy, because she brought that up to him because he's been married before. He's married once to, he has two older children. Two older children are boys, but they grown. They grown and married. The youngest one is the girl that he just had 12 years ago, but it's going to be 13. But when it comes to that, she advised him, you need to get counseling by yourself. I need to get counseling by myself, and we need to do couples counseling. He agreed to that.
Yeah.
Totally agreed. Now, by them being in different states, he said, we can do it virtual. We can do it like that and work on it. So, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, he's ready, and she's kind of hesitant right now. But when her best friend said, get it together, how long is too long? Because they've been doing this back and forth, long distance, I want to say for damn near 15 years.
Okay, so
how long is too long?
And that's really, in her situation, it's going to be up to her because, or it's really to both. But the sad thing about it, and when I say sad, I don't mean in a negative way. What I mean is, if they took the time, and I think the counseling, and I'm always a big proponent of going to church and talking about it and praying on it. Mm-hmm. I think if they really see what they bring if they're together, right? Because the hardest part about marriage is you have to give up yourself, right? And you have to understand that, and I've said this before, if he's a 7 or 8 in life and she's a 7 and 8 in life, what does that make them together?
16.
No, it makes them a 10.
I know. It makes them a 10. I was being funny. It makes them a 10. Right. You're right.
And the reason I say that is because of this. You have to be able to stand alone great by yourself. And a lot of people, she sounds like she stands alone great by herself. And he stands alone great by himself. So imagine if you put that focus in on each other, and that same focus that you put in on your job, and the same focus that you put on your career and your life and things that are involved in that, and you put that same purpose on somebody else who loves you, and it's now feeds your spirit, that's when it's the next side. That takes it to the next level. But unfortunately, people are so independent in the thinking of themselves. They don't think about the greater good. They don't think about what it's like with that person, because I promise you, if he or she, and I don't know them, I'm just going off what you said, but if he or she said, you know what, I'm tired, I'm done, I guarantee they're going to be hurt.
Yeah,
because they're going to
I know that.
All this time into this and all this, but what are you doing to progress it, right? And that's why I say in this situation, when she said, oh, well, will you get counseling? Would you do this? Yes, because he's reaching. Yes, I'll do whatever you need me to do. But the fact that she won't do what she has to do, that's settling.
Okay. Now, Tammy says 43 is young to not work anymore. It's very hard to give up that independence up. I like my own money. I'm good. I'm not good with asking for money for petty things. Now, if the proposal, and Tammy, I'm going to piggyback off what you said as well as what you said, Will, when it comes to independence, because I kind of know a little bit without telling their business. If the independence means that we finna build a business together, meaning that I'm a realtor now, because he done been to real estate school too. This is something else he can add to his resume. He can flip houses, buy houses. His son is a general contractor. So his son, he's showing me some of this work that his son has done. His son can come in and rehab. So if we're going to start this, we can start this business where if I'm going to purchase properties, even if I decide to keep some for rental, you can be the property manager. That is your money. You will see what you're getting. I guess too, I don't know. It, like you said, it would come with some sacrifices. Like I get it where, maybe she's thinking, well, if we have our business together, we did to get together all the time. So when are we like going away to bring, like she can go to work and come home and say, baby, let me tell you what happened at work today. When he's like, I already know because we rented 3 properties and blah, blah, blah. So maybe that could be some of it. I don't know. But I know that I told her when we were on the ride coming from Arizona, talking about it. He, even he was like, do you have to go? I was like, oh. So he don't want you to go. So to me, I can see the love. Let me say that.
Yeah,
go ahead.
And I agree. But roll it back some though. This wouldn't be the first time that a couple, and I don't know what she does for work, and I'm not asking anything like that, but I'm sure whatever you do in Nevada or wherever you are, you can do in most other states. But what I'm saying is, if you roll it back and you get to the bare bones and basics, how many years have we thought about where men were the breadwinners and providers and women were homemakers? Now, I'm not saying that's what she wants to do, but what I'm saying is it can work. Because, again, if it's to the point where it's, baby, we got to figure it out. Right, but let's be together. If we can get let's get strong with us. We know we like each other. We know whatever, and we'll figure it out, and we can provide a way. That's, again, removing the selfish thought, because he's not selfish like, well, when you get here, we got to sign a prenup, and we got to do this because my money's my money, and whatever you figure out, it's not saying that at all. It's I'll do whatever it takes to make it happen. But if you have a selfish, independent mind and thinking, you can't say, okay, let me trust that this union will be blessed, and it's now a union where we join together, and what's his is mine, and what's mine is his, and blah, 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 and we're together as one, that we'll work through it and we'll figure it out. But if you have an independent mind and thinking, you're thinking, well, I don't want to start over. I got to have my own money. Because you're thinking in that I mentality and not a we.
Okay. That is an excellent point. Tracy says you don't need to give yourself up and marriage, but you do need to make thoughtful, mutual sacrifices that strengthen your connection. I totally agree with that, because I was saying to myself, girl, I can't wait. I drive out, be like, I'm finna roll out. I'm finna roll out. Now, in the same instance, I had this conversation with my boo when I was out there. And how long is too long? If you are unhappy in a relationship, but you are trying to, well, you know what? This is the only thing they know, talking about the kids or the grandkids. This is the only thing they know, so I might as well just stay there. How long is too long? Because you guys have been together over 20-something years. You doing what you want to do. She doing what she want to do, but yet y'all still in the same household. Now, granted, they're not married, but how long is too long? When do you start realizing either you're going to shit or get off the pot, or or the same thing, we're going to do this or we're not going to do this. We're just going to go our separate ways, or we're going to go ahead and merge and say, you know what? We finna do this.
Do they live in the same household?
Who?
The one that you said? Yeah, the one.
Oh, yeah, they're in the same household.
And they've been together how long?
They're not married, but they've been together for over 20 years.
Oh, yeah, they married. In the law's eyes, they married.
They don't recognize, well, he stresses to me every time that they don't recognize common law in Arizona. I just said, okay.
Okay. Change that person's way of life and see what happens.
Exactly. You know what? I just laugh because I'm like, so when do you think about you? Like if you say you're not happy, why are you with a woman that doesn't make you happy? Now, I'm sure that in some instance, she probably does. That's probably on you. But in my mind, I'm going, dude, that's on you. I ain't got nothing to do with that. But when I think about the conversations that we had with Ty's best friend, who's getting married in November. When we talk about the Ty and her relationship, when we talk about, like I said, when she made that statement, what y'all gonna do? How long is too long? I said, I'm gonna talk about that on Tuesday, because the back and forth, the what you gonna do, but then we don't talk about it no more. Then here it is, another 2 or 3 years and gone by. And I'm like, or that couple be like, we still ain't done nothing, but we're still the quote unquote together. You come out, we get together, blah, blah, blah. But when it's too long? When is it too long? When is too long? Too long. Now, Coco says, too damn long. We have more years behind us than we do ahead of us. And peace is a virtue. I totally agree. So when it comes to even tying her situation, eventually it's going to come to that point where they're going to have to say, what we going to do? I think that, like Kanai brought up the movie, you have to watch that on Netflix, The Ultimatum. There's going to be an ultimatum given where, what we going to do? You either going to keep living in Las Vegas and I'm living in Arizona and we just going to, see each other when we see each other, or because I love you and I want us to be together, you going to have to move here. She's going to have to make the ultimate sacrifice in, I don't want to say giving up her independence, but when you think about it, you like Tammy said, you want your own money. I get it. So now, to me, start looking for a job. Start saying, okay, babe, you know what? Out here, my lease expires in December. I got a job, it ain't that far or whatever. And he is more than willing to fly her out for interviews, of course. So, hey, I got an interview at such and such. Because to me, that's showing, like when you said who's going to take the first step, she's showing, okay, if we're going to be together and we're going to get married, because he does want to marry her, I'm showing you that I'm willing to come this way because, like you said, he is ultimately probably going to be the breadwinner, however you want to put it. But he's letting her know, to me, I got you. You don't have to worry about nothing. Even when you are making this step, starting over,
But
whatever you need, your car, your registration, I got you. Go ahead. What you saying, Will?
She does not feel secure in that.
I think,
like there's something, there's a piece missing, but she doesn't feel secure enough to go, because let's be honest, there are women that have flown across the country for less. Let's be honest.
You're great. You're right. And you know what? There are some components that, of course, I can't mention without her permission. But there are some components. But based on what I saw and witnessed this weekend, I'm like, girl, what you waiting on? And even her girlfriend was like, what are you doing? Now, Tracy says, I believe whatever works for you and your partner. Tracy also says, well, like what Will said, you're no longer independent. You are in a marriage now, but you don't have to lose yourself. D-Lo says, is there a situation she would agree to? What does she want? We asked her that. We were sitting at the table. Thank you, D-Lo, because I have so much stuff that be going on in my mind. Thank you, D-Lo. We asked, what do you want? And she was silent, but we had to check her. We did have to check and say, hold on. You're not answering the question, because she was, to me, making excuses like, well, we said, no, that's not what we asked. So, no, there's some things that she needs to think about, too, when it comes to, hey, now, mind you, it's hard. She's never been married. She does not have any children. She has her freedom right now to do whatever she want to do, and she don't have to worry about feeding it or clothing it. None of that.
And but to give her freedom, she is going to keep her freedom.
But I think that in her relationship, because he has a 12-year-old daughter, she has, let me say this to her detriment, she has raised, the previous relationship she had before, she was raised raising 2 kids. They weren't hers biologically, but she was with a man who had 2 children. Those 2 girls still look at her as their mother, quote unquote, because they like, hey, such and such. I advised her the same thing that those did. Since he has a daughter, you will welcome, she when you come into her life, it'll be welcoming. It'll be a breath of fresh air. It'll be,
We hope.
I don't even know how to put it. But I told her, you know, you have to be able to, quote unquote, as Will, you may say, step out on faith. You're going to have to do that. You're going to have to take that chance to realize, or, you know, if it, you know, I think she's too, my thing is, I think she's scared to fail. Like, what if this don't work? What if this don't work?
Stepping out on faith, yes, but she has to step out on love.
Mm.
So if the love isn't strong enough to make you step out there, because love has made us do some crazy things. But
Love should have made you bring your ass home last night.
Mm. Yeah, but it was still Robin Givens though. Like, she was in her prime too. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
she
saying,
was.
oh, I'm
She
sorry.
was. No worries. You guys,
Halle
it is.
Berry, don't get me wrong, but that was Robin Givens.
Halle Berry was the bomb back then. You guys, it is 5:59. Oh my God, it is 5:59. You know what we're going to do? We're going to continue this conversation on Thursday and then add some more stuff to it, because I may have to bring her on here so she can tell you exactly what it is, because it is good to always have an open perspective or a different perspective of some people who are on the outside looking in. Now, even though we don't know everything, we can tell you what we do know. And based on my conversation with Cookie B and my audience, we kind of know what we be talking about from time to time. So it can be a great conversation that we're going to continue on Thursday. How long is too long? Hey, TT said they live in different states. That would be hard for me to trust. Just me. Like, he wouldn't be able to trust me. That's because you a hot ass, TT. Be quiet. Be quiet.
But bring her, Cookie, bring her on the show. Bring her on the show, because I got questions.
Yes, we're going to have to bring her on there. Yes, it's all love, Ty. Ty knows that we love her. Ty knows that I was so glad that we had this trip together in Arizona. It was wonderful. I laughed because my daughter said the prayer before we left. She was like, I pray that she don't, you know, we get there and have a good time, because you know how women get. And she was like, Mom, I pray that whoever this is don't get on your nerve. We laughed about it, but it was a great time. Ty, I thank you for everything, for even allowing me to speak about this on the show today. But we will continue this conversation on Thursday. How long is too long? And if you have any input or anything like that, please don't hesitate to send me a DM, to drop it in the comments, or to join in on the conversation. Thank you once again, Will, for everything. Yeah, shout out to Ty. We are rooting for you, because we know that we here on Conversation with Cookie B, boy, we do some love connections. Well, let me be quiet. Okay, then. All right, you guys.
Less than 6 months. I'm just trying to tell you, we make it happen quick for you, too.
You guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you, Piggy Boo. You have a wonderful again. See you on Thursday. Thank you once again, Will. Thank you for your insight. You know, Wisdom Will was on here. We missed Mark, the Don with Dignity. He wasn't on here today. He was getting his phone fixed. So I hope he gets it fixed by Thursday. I will see you guys on Thursday for another interesting and exciting episode of Conversations with Cookie B. 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. See you guys on Thursday. Love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your support. And I will see you on Thursday. Talk to you soon. And thanks for all your comments. Tammy, Piggy Boop, D-Lo, thank you for joining in on the conversation. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. And I'll see you guys on Thursday at 5 p.m. Take care.